Can't take my eyes off of you. You be like heaven. I wanna hold you so at long last. I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. Part of the way that I stand, there's nothing else to compare. The sight of you keeps me true. There are the words that speak, but if you
Yeah, we're just gonna give it a couple minutes to allow some folks to in. And also, I think Tasha's running a few minutes behind. How's my light? Ooh, this is another good one. I'm just waiting for Tasha to log in.
You and your team need to get things done. With Monday. So whatever you want to do, all right with me.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We're just waiting a couple more minutes for everyone to come through. A little dance break.
It's everything, hey, since we've been together, ooh, loving you forever. So what I need, let me be the one you come running to. the good and feel sad. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Yeah, but I'm the good and feel sad. I keep on breaking. Oh, turn around and make.
How's everybody doing?
I just can't see.
Did you have a good Friday?
You never knew I do. Hey, around you is all I see.
Welcome everyone to our evening presentation, day 2 of the 2019 Sacred Sex, Sacred Family Virtual Summit. I am Margarita Macareno Manuelian, and I'm just so happy that you're here with me, that this is really happening. Just a few months ago, this whole summit seemed like kind of an impossible dream, and now here we are. We're all here together, and yesterday was chock full of incredible presentations, and then today as well, we've had some really stellar meetings of the minds and hearts. So I'm really excited about tonight, and I'm just waiting to see if Tasha's going to be able to jump on here with us. It's funny because she was just messaging me that she's putting her baby to sleep, and I was just doing the same thing. I was putting my kids to sleep, and I was like I gotta go run this summit in a couple of minutes. Go to sleep. But from some of the presenters, I've learned just how important patience is. And the previous presentation with Dewi and Brian was all about the power of presence, and how when you are able to be present, first of all with yourself, and then with your partner, your child, your children, just how that choice to be present can change everything. Can change a lot. I don't know if it can change everything, to think about that one. So I'm just vamping here for a little bit, guys, as Tasha puts her son to sleep and jumps on the call with us. Oh, Eugenia, tell us about your offerings. My current offering, thank you for that question. My current offering as part of Fierce Divine is posture tune-up. And it's an awesome deal right now. It's a 15-minute posture tune-up. It's a way to connect your spiritual self, your higher self, anchoring that into the body. And we do this either in person or on Zoom like this. And the really cool thing about this service that I'm providing is that you get a recording that you can listen to and watch whenever you need to. And what I'm envisioning is that once I give the certain touch points to the person, they will be able to then adjust their posture in the moment. They'll remember, oh, okay, like I remember I need to ground down through my feet. I need to roll the hips. It's slightly different for different people because I have to look at your posture, the way you're carrying yourself, and make adjustments accordingly. But that's a cool new offering that I've got. So the regular price is $49, and then right now it's on special for $15. So it's a really good deal, $15 for a 15-minute posture tune-up. I also teach private yoga, and I teach embodiment yoga, as I'm calling it. So it's a yoga class that's specifically tailored to you, to exactly what you need. And it is also, just like the previous offering, is also a way to, first of all, feel that higher self energy in your body, feel your divine self in your body, and learn how to anchor in, how to recognize it, how to call it in. So it's very powerful. And yeah, you can reach out to me and ask me about that. My email is margarita@fiercedivine.com, which you all know because you all get my emails. So. She's coming. She's coming. I'm really excited about this presentation tonight. Tasha, who should be jumping on in a minute, is a bit of a Renaissance woman. I'll wait to do her intro until she actually is on here. So how about we just breathe? Oh, thank you so much for asking that question. What are the summit packages? Well, right now I have an awesome special where I've created a mug with the logo on it, which is really cool, and also a tote bag with the poster that has everyone's face, all the presenters' faces. You've probably seen the poster. And those are the free gifts that I'm offering right now, along with lifetime full access to all the replays. And that includes the preview, the 2 preview presentations that we had, the 2 preview videos. I don't know if you've had a chance to check those out. So the regular price is something like $153, but for the length of the summit, so until midnight on Sunday, I'm offering it for $55.55. So that's $55.55 for all the videos from all the presenters. So much goodness, so many gems here. And the 2 free gifts I think are going to be really fun too. I'm excited to get mine. Thank you for asking that question. Thank you for sticking around, guys. I really appreciate you. And I'm sure this is going to be worth your while. Anyone want to jump on with any thoughts about the presentations so far? If anything has really struck you, if there's any particular nuggets of wisdom that you heard, I'd love to hear from you. You could just unmute yourself and talk and save me.
Can you hear me? There you are. Oh, I couldn't hear you. Okay. I forgot I had my volume turned down. Okay. How are you tonight, love?
Good. How are you, Nina?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited. I see everybody's here waiting, and that's something that happens with anticipation. It's sensual anticipation because you know it's going to be good.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, but I also love that we consider a mother's role. You know, having to put down the babies, and sometimes they need that extra love. You know, so
And they usually need it when you have something to do.
because they feel that energy, they're saying, "Hey, she's not fully present. So what can I do to get more attention?" Oh, I know. As soon as she puts me down, I'll wake up. So
True.
yeah. My teens still do it. My son called right before we started. Hey, mom, so when you coming home? Son, really? You're 16, you've been out all day. And as soon as I called, hi, mom, I'm busy. I'll call you later. As soon as I get ready to do my thing, hey, so when you going to be here? So, yeah. But it feels good to know that they want you and they like you.
Yeah.
So, do you think that at some point this will become a physical summit?
Yeah. I've been thinking about that. And a bunch of us are here on the East Coast. There's a few of us in the city, and then we're in New York, and then there's a couple people by DC area. So
Ooh,
I feel like we could do something in person. Um,
that would be fun.
that would be so fun, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully, the wardrobe, for me at least, would be like really sensual, silky, flowy garments.
Ezreal, you'd fly up. Yeah.
Be so awesome.
Ezreal's coming.
Yes, fly up. That would be fun. Fly up before then too.
Yeah, right.
Great.
Don't wait for the physical summit.
Yes.
Come visit us.
That's very cool. Where did you get your backdrop from? It's really pretty.
There was a a special on Instagram. It was like, oh, this store is going out of business. We're doing this amazing sale on tapestries, and I love tapestries, so I picked this one. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
But the funniest thing is, I don't know if they actually ever went out of business because this was kind of a while ago, and I recently saw that ad again.
They're still there. Mm-hmm.
Going out of business still. Like everything is on sale still.
Perpetually going out of business.
Yeah,
Yeah, they want you to feel like you got a deal. So if you feel like you got a deal, then it worked.
exactly. As long as you feel that satisfaction of getting a good price.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited about Tasha coming on. She's so juicy.
Yes, she is. Sacred, sensual mama.
Because we all need a bit of that. We all do. Yeah. Don't you wish a fairy like Tasha could be that fairy that flutters to your window when you're all frazzled because of the kids, this and that, and she's like, "Hey, get in your body." You know how she does her body. I'm like, "Thanks, Tasha Fairy."
That sounds perfect.
I want
We all need one of those.
to tell her, come to our windows and just say, hey, girl, get sensual. Put on your juicy, your honeybee juicy thigh socks and dance around.
Oh, I cannot wait to get mine.
I need to do that too. Oh, you're going to love them. They're not too hot. They're breathable and they just fit and they feel good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Is she here? I think I just saw her for a second.
Ooh. I'm going to go on mute.
Oh my goodness.
Hi.
Shower.
Thank you for waiting, y'all. I had a sacred sensual mama moment.
No, we totally understand. We totally know how it is.
Oh, look at all these beautiful people in here.
Yes.
I'm
so excited.
Give 1 second.
I wanted to wait till you were on to do the introduction for you.
Okay.
Just
Can
because
you
I
hear me?
want you to hear what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Okay. So, Tasha, what can I say about Tasha? This woman is, she's on to something. She's got a lot going on, and she seems to be like really staying on top of it and using her voice with such authenticity. If you ladies are, or the ladies on this call, or ladies who are watching the replay, are interested in joining her fabulous Facebook group, I love this Facebook group. We get so much support from each other and from Tasha, and it's just a beautiful way to connect with your sensual self, and it feels like a nice private setting, and it's free, so we can't go wrong. But I'll let Tasha talk about that. She also makes these amazing oils and candles, and oh my goodness, what doesn't she do?
All the things. I'm a Capricorn. We do it all.
Yes. So Tasha, the first thing is I would just love to ask you, like, how did you come to this place? Like, what was your journey like to get here?
So it started before my child. I'm trying to think of a very pivotal point because it's been some years. But I've always been sensual. I can remember as far back as when I got my first cycle. And it was something where like I had to grow into it as I got older. And I just realized that as a woman, I just wanted to flow differently. I'm a huge observer of how things are done, society, how, the women in my family did things. And I was just like, I'm so different and I don't want to flow that way, but for a while I was kind of on my own trying to figure it out because I didn't have that support from my family because, I'm the person in my family that was supposed to bring that. So I would say when I got away from my family, like college is when I really started coming into my own. Me furthering my education honestly was like freedom. I can leave. I can be myself. Like I used that to my advantage, and I'm so glad I did because my sensuality and sexuality, like it started blossoming then. And thinking about where I came from there, like it's a lot happened. And then, to tie it into what I'm going to talk about tonight, I went through another transformation when I got pregnant. And, there were things that I thought I was preparing for, but for me, birth was an initiation because I was like coming into another level of my power at 28 years old, and the events that led up to that were very chaotic. I'm just going to say that. But I have a Scorpion child, so it was supposed to happen that way. So I would say, yeah, it started in college, and that was a decade ago when I really started to open up to those things. And
I really started to practice more practical sensuality, I would say maybe like 2 to 3 years ago. So coming into my own when it came to that happened right before I got pregnant. So my pregnancy, my child, a lot of what happened and a lot of what grew me brought me to this moment. So yeah, that's a short version.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. I really appreciate hearing like a little bit about, how it all came to pass,
Mm-hmm.
how you came to be where you are
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for saying yes to the
Thank you.
Sacred
Thank you.
Family Summit.
I'm honored.
Yay. For me, this was just such a topic that was up for me, is
Mm-hmm.
up for me. How do we bring together our mama self, our sexy, sensual self, and our spiritual self, right? Like, how do we
Mm-hmm.
bring that all together,
Mm-hmm.
find that wholeness? So yeah, so I'm really excited about Sacred Sensual Mama.
I have so much to share.
Go for it.
So much, so much. So we're going to start with a grounding womb meditation. So we're going to get into our breath. I know I need this today. We're going to get into our breath. We're going to put our hands on our wombs. And usually I play music, but I'm kind of feeling silent right now. So put your hand on your womb. And we're going to do some deep inhales and exhales, and we're going to progress as we go. So first, simple inhale, exhale. Right? So breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. Inhale in through the nose, out through the mouth. All right. So this time we are going to inhale in through the nose. And when we exhale, we're going to activate that throat chakra because it is connected to our womb. I feel like our vocal cords are like the voice of our womb. So we're going to inhale, exhale. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. And with this one, I want you to imagine that you're breathing into your womb. So inhale, exhale. So this time we're going to get more interactive with our womb. We're going to do some, I call it my version of yoni breathing. So everyone knows what Kegels are. So when we inhale, you're going to, I don't want to say clench, but you're going to rise the pelvic floor. You're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then when you exhale, you're going to release the pelvic floor. I feel like with Kegels, they don't focus on a release. They just focus on the tense. All right. So release is good. All right. So we're going to inhale again. And when you hold it, rise the pelvic floor. Hold it for a few seconds. Let it feel real juicy. And exhale. I'll do this 2 more times. It feels good to me. All right. So we're going to inhale. Hold the breath. Rise the pelvic floor. Exhale. All right. So now I just want you guys to just focus on your womb for a second. And I want you to imagine its color. So our womb is connected to our sacral chakra, and we all know that the sacral chakra is orange. So I want you to imagine that your womb is a orange blossom honey. It's sticky, it's sweet, it's flowing, it's juicy. That is an actual honey too, y'all. All right. So we're going to do one more inhale and exhale. And when you inhale, imagine that that hue of orange gets bigger and brighter. And when you exhale, that womb space expands and relaxes. All right. So we're going to do one more inhale. Excuse my son. And exhale. And I want y'all to come back to your present moment. Open your eyes. How do y'all feel? I feel better.
Delicious.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, I feel like touching myself right now. So, I usually play a little bit of music. I have a sacred sensual movement class that I do. And so I wanted to introduce a little bit of that so we can get our bodies moving. I am all about movement. Movement is life for me. So while you're sitting down, you don't have to stand up. We're just going to do some things from the head to the waist. All right. First, I want you to roll your neck. We hold a lot of tension in our neck. I know for me, I hold it in the back of my neck. All right. And I want you to remember the deep breathing. We don't breathe deeply. We breathe very shallow, especially when we have a lot going on. So I want you to just slow down. All right. And I want you to bring it down to your shoulders. All right. I'm going to see if I can get this music popping for us. Just a little bit. It's a little something, something. All right. Roll your shoulders back. Roll your shoulders forward. Okay. So what this is doing is creating a sensual bubble. So nothing or no one can pop it. Okay. So now we're gonna move our chest and shoulders. All right. So in my sacred sensual movement class, a lot of the movements are based on belly dance. I am a belly dancer. But I infuse energy work into the movements as well because they're very universal movements. They're not limited to belly dance. So when we're working our chest, for example, that's the heart chakra. All right. The shoulders are like the throat and the heart chakra as well. So they're kind of like in between. So you want to just allow your whole body to get loose. All right. Good, 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 good. Good, good. Oh, I have the music on my computer. See, I wouldn't have remembered that if I ain't moved my body. So, all right. And if you can, I want you to, I'm sitting Indian style right now. So I want you to just touch your legs. All right. All right. I'm just trying to be your DJ, but we're gonna move for now. Roll your hands. We have a lot of tension in our wrists and in our ankles. You'll be surprised where you hold tension at in your body as a woman, okay? And so these are not, we don't want to treat these movements as separate entities. They all flow with your body. So you want to get comfortable with doing all of them at the same time, all right? In your way, it doesn't have to look like my way. Whatever feels good to you, all right? Good, 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 good. So we can stretch out the legs. And whatever space you're in, you do what works. Okay. Good, good, good. Awesome, awesome. All right, so I'm gonna see if this song will play, and then we'll get into me talking. If not, we'll just slow right on. Give me 1 second, ladies. Hope y'all can hear this. All right, let me know. Nina, nod if you can hear this. Okay, so I can only see her and Margarita. All right. So we're gonna go back to the neck. All right. So this time we're gonna infuse some touch. So start from your head. Bring it down to your face, your neck. Just be present with how your fingers feel on you. The throat, the chest, the shoulders. All right. So we're going to speed it up some. All right. So I want y'all to hold your breaths, okay? Because it's okay. They're ours. They nurture life. They give pleasure. All right. So in the belly dance world, these are called chest circles. All right. So let your tatas steal the show. Okay. So we're going to bring it to the hands now. Good, 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 good. All right. So bring it down to the waist. Feel how the outline of your hips feel. All right. And if you can move your hips while you're sitting down, go ahead. All right. Bring it down to your thighs. Good, good, good. All right. So now we're going to do some belly rolls while sitting down. All right. So we're working the solar plexus. Good. All right. So roll the hips if you can. Good, good, good. Bring the hands back up. Almost done. Good, good, good. Awesome. Let's do some deep breaths and then we're gonna take it to the next segment. Awesome. Breathe some more. Awesome, 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 awesome. All right. So now everybody's in flow. Surprise! All right. So that's one of the things that I incorporated into my life when I became pregnant. It was something I was already doing, but it became more of something that I needed when I was pregnant after I had my baby and all of that good stuff. So I want to just dive into my story, how I got to this point, you know, as a sacred sensual mama, and the things. I'll give the short version because it's a lot, but the things that transpired. So before I conceived my son, first of all, I knew he was coming, and I moved across country. I was really in love. You know, I was just full of love. I conceived him around Valentine's Day. So around this time, 2 years ago, he was being created under a Leo moon. It was very romantic. The moon was like above us and we had a skylight, and like, yeah, he just beamed on down because it was time. I remember all of the sensuality that I had cultivated within myself. I knew conception was happening hours after. I felt this it was like a buzzing that I felt in my womb. It was like electricity. I was half asleep, and I was like, something's happening to my body, and I don't know what it is, but I'm really tired, so I'm just gonna go back to sleep. There was a lot of things happening around me. So there was a lot of eye of the storm type of situations. I was moving around a lot, and I call it conception and chaos. So, you know, the father of my child, we were like on this adventure, but it went crazy. And I didn't have a chance to really be present in my body. And that was a hard time for me because life was happening. Like life was happening within me. I felt everything very viscerally, if that's the right word, in my body. I felt my hips spread. I literally felt my womb just open up. It was very real for me. And I remember thinking like, wow, you know, I want to rest. I want to tend to a home. I'm ready. You know, I'm ready for this. You know, I was already being prepared. And when things happen, you know, unexpected life changes happen that didn't really support me being in that energetic space of femininity where you're pregnant, you know, because I feel like that's like the pinnacle of femininity. Like, okay, you're pregnant, your whole body is in its feminine, that's all it is, right? And so I remember having like mental fog. And I had this desire. I was like, you know, I want to really work with women that are pregnant and postpartum. And it was sparked in California, 'cause that's where I was. I was in California, Sacramento. And I remember it was just a time for me where I had to be the eye of my own storm. And when I found out that I was pregnant, you know, I was like, all of this stuff that's going around, it's like a hurricane happening, but I need the peace within for the sake of my child and for the sake of me, you know, because it was a lot on me emotionally. And I was searching for a center. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, like, I don't know where I'm going to live next. I don't know if we're going to eat. It was just so much happening. So when I confirmed my pregnancy, me and his father, it was a disconnect happening, you know, and all I heard from within was create peace. That's what you need. Get back into your body. Get some herbs. When I moved over there, I literally brought like a whole bag of herbs. I was making herbal infusions. That's why my son is so strong, because that's all I was drinking, you know. And my self-care started to change because it was not only for me, it was I literally have to be in my body, you know, because I had this life that I'm nurturing, you know. And so there was a lot of movement that I started to do. We did find a place to stay. It was very stable for us at the time. And I went outside, you know, I put my feet in the ground. My meditations changed. You know, I talked to my baby, probably barely had ears at that point. I was journaling. It was, now that I think back on it, it was so many things happening, and I still created peace from within me. And so my father left, the father of my son left, and I was there by myself. And I was just like, I'm in this house with these people. I have a room, so I do have peace, but I'm in a city. I don't know anybody. I'm cocooned, you know? And so I cried, you know, I was heartbroken, you know. I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Da, da, da. It was an ebb and flow for me. And I want you guys to, here comes my son. I want you guys to realize that it's not all about being like, I'm just goddess every day. It's not going to look like that. Sometimes you are the dark goddess. Sometimes like you have to go there to bring yourself back, you know. And so the shift happened when he left. It was literally hours after he left. I cried. I walked, because we were in Sacramento, was beautiful. So like things were blooming because the spring was happening. It was like 60, 70 degrees. So I took in all of that. I was like, you know, I smell the trees, you know, it's lovely here. Like I just started being really present. I remember I walked to the grocery store and I walked back, and I'm pretty sure I was craving stuff at that time. And I was like, I want some fruit. And I walked back, and it was a Spanish community. So there was a Spanish girl. I don't want to offend anybody, but you know, that was a Spanish girl, and she couldn't speak any English, but she had these big, juicy strawberries. I literally was just walking back to the house, and I was like, I want some strawberries. And they were there. And I walked back, and I remember feeling so happy just because there were strawberries. And I created a ritual just with fruit. I went outside. I took the time to really be with the strawberries and be with the fruit, and you know, really feel my body opening up, because my sinuses were opening up. You know, when you're pregnant, like all types of things are happening. It felt like fire in my boobs. Like it was just, I was just there for it all. And then right before I left, I woke up one morning and it was raining, and I was like, I just want to put something on that's like really sensual, and I'm just going to dance and take some pictures, and hopefully that'll make me feel better. And so like I put on a little onesie like I have on now, had a gray one on, and I put on, I think I had my socks, my thigh highs. I had some type of thigh highs. I have a bunch of them, y'all. And instantly I was like, I feel like myself. You know, I wasn't showing yet. I had a little bloated pudge. And I just was like, okay, I'm feeling like me again. You know, I'm heartbroken. I have these things going on, but I feel myself coming back, you know. I started having these really vivid dreams. I started writing down things. I wrote a releasing letter to the father of my child, and that helped a lot too. And I just went within. I really cocooned myself. And so something magical started happening from there. I had met some women there before this all happened, and they literally came and found me. And I was doing nothing but just being with myself. I was just being present with everything. And you know, they literally brought me food. I had people giving me money. You know, I was happy. Like I was pregnant, but I was really happy with food. Like it was just something that simple. And then there was a time where um I sat on a bed, and I had my burrito and my Hershey Kisses and all of that. And I just started to laugh. And like for all intents and purposes, it was not a time to laugh because of how I felt. Yeah, I think I went insane. I'm sitting here laughing. You know, like I couldn't explain it. But it felt good. And so I just stayed in that moment, and I was like, yeah, okay. You know, so was like little by little, you know, little by little. So I call it after the hurricane. I started going to the rivers. A friend of mine that I met the river, she was interested in meditation and things like that. I started telling her about candle work, and she was like, I think we need to go to the river. So like I wrote on bay leaves like abundance, prosperity, this, that. I wrote another letter. I released it to the water. These were all things that I took pictures of and she recorded, because I wanted to remember that, you know. And I came back to the East Coast, and I went through another initiation. You know, I went through, okay, you know, I'm back around family. You know, how do I exist in this space as a pregnant first time mom, but I still have the sensual and sexual parts of me? How do I keep it, you know, preserve the sexy is what I call it. Like, how do I do that? Because my body is changing. I'm gaining weight, you know, my stomach is expanding, my breasts are getting bigger. I feel my hips more than ever. You know, when I started meditating more, like I do chakra meditation, so I go through each chakra, and this is something that I teach as well. And for me, I can literally feel each chakra. When I got pregnant with him, everything was juggled because he was in there, he was doing his own thing, you know. And so again, I was in this space where I'm like, wow, this is new. How do I do this? You know? And so again, I remembered those few things that I did in California, and I just started to intuitively build upon them. And for some reason, like clothing was very, it was very pivotal for me, sensual clothing, because it made me feel like, yeah, he's recording himself on my phone. Um, it made me feel like me again, you know? And so I would have these moments where by that point, I had started I had a lover, and it didn't really go anywhere. It was just over the phone, but it was what I needed. And he knew, like, he got to know me, so he knew that there were certain things that I needed to do to feel my sensual self again. And so he'll be like, did you put on your silk robe? Did you light your candle? Did you, you know, like, I had my moments where I needed that reminder. And so another thing that started to happen was the void of not having my partner to help me, you know, to help me emotionally through pregnancy, you know. And I had to really embody that, you know, it may not be anyone here physically, you know, that something that I have not experienced because of what happened, but I have universal masculine energy that's going to always be there for me. And so I started to write affirmations, you know, all that I need comes to me, you know, and not just with romantic partners, but just masculine energy in general. And so I remember, like, I just started being more present. Like, my Uber drivers would be like extra nice and extra like into me, and you know, I just had this energy where it was like everyone wanted to help me. And it wasn't just because of pregnancy, it was because of what I was cultivating within. And so I went through that process of filling the void and not feeling like I was missing something. And one thing that I kept telling myself was, you know, nature abhors a vacuum. You know, I may not have this here, but it'll come in another way, you know. And so I went through that. And then I got to the end of the pregnancy, and I felt like I was dying. And not physically, but I felt like a part of my life was like ending. And I was like, what's happening? Like, why do I feel this way? And it was like an initiation. Like, my doula was like, you're changing, like you're going from maiden to mother. And that's a big thing, you know. Thug tears, because I was trying not to cry, but it came anyway. But you know, I was like, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm there's another void. How do I navigate that? And she was like, you just go through it. You let it happen. You embrace it. You embody it. You are leveling up, you know? And so I was like, wow. And then that's when I actually got scared of birth. I went through the whole pregnancy. I had a great pregnancy. I loved being pregnant with my son. I was a little happy person at the end of my pregnancy, getting weighed, and people were like, you're like 9 months pregnant. Like, usually people are like ready to like give birth. You're just happy. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm good, you know? And so again, I was still moving. Like, I was doing my sacred sensual movements. I was teaching classes while I was pregnant. If you remember, if you take in my classes, I think I have a few people on here, you know, I was like bellying all like, all right, girl, come on, let's roll it. Ooh, got a kick. Oh, like, I was just doing it. And because it healed me too. And so I did it all the way till I couldn't do it anymore, until it was time for him to come. And so, like I said, I felt this initiation of, oh my God, like, I'm changing. Am I still going to be me on the other side of birth? Am I like, what's going to happen? Because like, I'm a visionary. So like, all I could envision was him coming out, me putting him on my chest. And that was it. I couldn't see anything past that. And it was scary. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be this, that. It was a lot of unknowing, because I was unbecoming. And so you know, my doulas, I thank God for them, God is for them, because, you know, they were like, this is an initiation and it's gonna be okay. And when you birth, leave it all on the table. And so labor started, and it actually happened a lot faster than I was expecting, considering I had never had children before. And that is because the entire pregnancy, I was dancing, I was moving, I was cultivating, I was crying a lot. I was the most emotional I have ever been in my entire life when I was pregnant. You know, I needed touch. So, you know, yeah, I didn't get that from the father of my child, but I had massages done. You know, I still went and got my nails and my feet done. Like I still held space for myself, you know, and I used all of the things, you know. So when labor started happening and contractions started happening, that was like another level of presence, you know, because I didn't know what that felt like. I didn't have Braxton Hicks. I didn't get that throughout my pregnancy. I didn't really get that till about a week before I had him. And so I was like, oh, what's this tightening? Okay. All right. Oh, what's this? Okay. All right. You know, and so breath was really important. Breathing deep, that deep breathing that we did. I was a little when I was laboring, but that is what got me through my labor. Moving on my exercise ball, opening up my hips to breathe in. I did most of my laboring at home. I didn't even know I was progressing until I got to the hospital. And so, you know, doing all of that, and I knew that the contractions were real. I just knew. I knew by that point I was present enough to be like, oh, this is for real. Okay, you know. So I moved, I breathed. Some sounds came out of me that I wasn't familiar with, but I did it anyway. You know, like I was just flowing. I ate, I slept, I moved, I was on the phone. It was a rhythm for me. And nobody was home. Everybody left to go to work. The kids were gone. It was exactly how I wanted it to be, you know. And then the other level of that was, oh, I can't concentrate anymore. I can't write. My doula was like, write the address of, she wanted me to do something. It was to text something. And I was like, I can't text. I literally can't. My mind is not here anymore. And so my best friend was like, well, how far away are your, 1 second. Okay, can you, yeah, I know, we're talking about you. I was like, how far apart are your contractions? I was like, oh, they're like a minute or two. She was like, what are you doing still home? Get to the hospital. And I was like, oh, whatever, you know. And so I get to the hospital, and that whole thing happens. And I get to the pushing. And again, this is another level of presence. And when I pushed him out, I was like, whatever I went through is out of me. I'm laying it on the table. And so he came out, you know, and that was my introduction into postpartum and motherhood. And so my body's different. I got loose skin. I'm like 15 pounds heavier. You know, my boobs are huge. They were out here. Milk is flowing. I'm in this space of, wow, like I'm like I'm just, I'm a mom, you know. I don't feel sexy, you know. And from there, you know, I started to, when I got used to like pumping and, you know, milk, I was just amazed at what my body was doing. And so I started taking pictures of my body. I started to, if you're in my group, they're still in there. I started taking pictures. I started just being sensual. Again, I went back to those things, and I started feeling myself come back, you know. And then I got some opportunities to take photo shoots. And I love doing photo shoots because for me, they're very healing. And at that time, being postpartum, it was like, I'm going to remember this a year later. And I'm going to be so amazed at what I went through and how I came back. And so I won a photo shoot as a boudoir photo shoot. And I had my friend Candace, I had purchased some lingerie from her. And I was like, you know, I got a little pudge right now, you know. But you know what? I'm going to get in front of that camera. I'm going to get glammed up, and I'm just going to be me, you know. And so I did the shoot. It was great, you know. Um, and then I did another one, 6 months postpartum. I did one at 3 months and I did one at 6 months. And I just started like seeing myself from, you know, that lens. It just, and seeing myself change and grow, because those were like pivotal moments for me. I was like, wow. And again, I was moving, you know, I was crying, I was flowing, milk was coming out of me, you know, I was looking at my yoni, because when I had him 3 weeks later, I was like, is it still there? Like, is it, you know, is it okay? You know, and so I was, you know, I felt different. I felt more orgasmic. And I was like, okay, you know, I just had a baby. Am I supposed to be like orgasming in like 60 seconds? Okay, that's how we doing things now. You know, so I started to touch myself again and look down there and see, like, of course, you know, looked a little different. It was still healing. Um, I I did the release, the tightening and the release that we did, to see how that felt. You know, I felt my pelvic floor very strongly, because pushing him out was his job, you know, but I was like, wow, my pelvic floor feels different. Everything that was happening with me, I remained present. And so from there, you know, I was just like, okay, you know, I feel more orgasmic. I feel more open. I remember looking at my yoni one day and I was like, man, it looks like a whole universe up in there. And I had never seen it that way before. But it was just amazing. I was just like, wow, like I pushed the life out. Like, that's awesome. Like, I can't ever look at myself in disgust. You know, like, that's crazy, you know? So again, I went through it's an ebb and flow. I went through, wow, that's amazing. And so my best friend was a sex toy consultant, and she had toys that had never been used. And she was like, here, just take that off. And I was like, okay. And so I started exploring my body, you know, different positions, and just I had like I could tell, like, within myself I had different ways I wanted to be touched, you know, from, you know, nursing my child and pumping. My nipples like more friction now, you know, they don't like, they're not super sensitive, but they want more sucking, they want more touch, you know. I am a person that can, you know, orgasm just from that alone. And so I was like, wow, okay, so this feels different, and my yoni feels different, my G spot feels like it shifted some, and this and that. Like, it was like a whole transformation for me. And I didn't have sex right away, but it was just fun. It was being more present with my body after birth, and what that looked and felt like. And for me, I didn't really have a problem with, oh my gosh, like, you know, my son is on my boob and I'm thinking about sex or with someone else, you know, like, it, for me, it was never like oh, I can't think like that. It was I have different needs now, you know. I went through weaning him, you know, I went through that process, and how it felt for my boobs to be like, okay, we have a break now. Getting back to that, like, it was what I could say, it was just an ebb and a flow. And I had a high tide and I had a low tide, and a this, that, and a that. Like, it was never a constant flatline thing. So that changed my work with women. I became really passionate about working with postpartum and pregnant women. I was like, wow, like, people need to know, like, you could still be sensual, pregnant, and postpartum. Like, that's a thing, and it's dope. And it was something that kept me centered the entire time. Um, and feeling like that dying feeling that I felt, it subsided big time. When I remembered that, okay, you know, I was dying to self in the ways of, you know, this is just the next level. I'm getting better. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to be able to still be that maiden, you know, that beautiful, you know, goddess, siren. I'm still that person, but I'm also a mother, and I also know how to nurture myself more, and I also know how to open my heart more. That was a big thing for me. I had a lot of heart opening that happened. And for it to happen without a partner, it was like, wow, like when I actually get a partner, I got all of this to give, you know? And so opening my heart, you know, reconnecting with my womb, because when I started doing the chakra meditations again, they felt different, you know? And so getting familiar with that and relearning myself and just embodying and preserving the sexy, but still and it's holding space and making space for who I am becoming and unbecoming at the same time. Because for me, I'm unlearning, you know, things that I thought I was supposed to be as a mother. I'm unlearning, oh, you have to sacrifice that part of yourself so you can be a mom. You know, I'm unlearning that I don't, I don't have to do things in that way. Because, you know, I've seen women, they sacrifice all their dreams, and a lot of them come from passions. They sacrifice their passions, and that is very connected to womb energy. So if you're sacrificing your passions, what do you think you're doing to the energy of your womb? You know? And so I was like, I feel too good. I can't let that go. I don't care what anybody tells me, you know? And so I just kept cultivating it. I'm still cultivating it. I haven't reached a peak. I'm still learning, you know? But now I'm at a point where you know, if I meet pregnant, postpartum women, I'm like, are you moving your body? You know, are you connecting with your womb, with your baby in your womb? How do you feel in your body? Do you know that your body is not just your child's? Like, he doesn't have to own everything. And that was another thing that I went through, like the boundary, like my son is all up in my bubble. I actually went through that this week, and I had to bring myself back to center, because there is a thing of being touched out from your child. And I felt like I had to regain my boundary. Like, okay, child, can you go over there? You know, like I had to really, really get within myself. Like, where's that coming from? You know, and so I wanted women to know that, you know, you can still be all of these aspects of yourself as a mom. You know, I want my son to see me being in the mirror and doing my makeup and dancing and having fun. And I want him to know what a sensual woman looks like. I want him to date someone like me. You know, like I want him to know that, wow, this is a woman in her full power, and she's my mommy, you know, and she can still be my mommy, but she can just still be her sensual self as well. And how that translate into how I will raise him, you know, yes, it will be a very sex positive household. You know, yes, when he gets to that part where he wants to touch himself and all of that good stuff that I'm not ready for yet, because he's starting to explore already. Yes, I'm going to encourage that, because this is body. You know, I want him to see me be my full sacred sensual self, you know, because that's what he knows. Like, he was in me when I was going through all of these things, and all he knows is movement. Movement soothes him. You know, he does not know no movement. No movement. He's like, okay, what's happening? Why are we stagnant? Mommy, why you not moving? What's going on? You know, because that's what I cultivated while being pregnant with him. Here he comes. He got some stuff to say too. So, yeah, we hear you. So, yeah, that's kind of all I have.
Wow, that was amazing. Amazing. Hi, Butter.
Here he is.
Oh my goodness. Hi, little man. Oh,
He just wants to be in. He just wants to be in my arms. That's all.
well, you're super magnetic, so
Thank you. Yeah.
you would feel that way, and you're his
Yeah.
mom, so.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. He's very. We're magnets for each other.
I just love the way you shared your. Wow, Tasha, just the way that you're sharing so openly, your authenticity is just so beautiful to witness.
Thank you. Thank
Wow. And I definitely picked out some gems there.
Awesome.
Specifically how you were able to remain curious about what you needed and continue to look for new ways. It's like, okay, let me try this ritual. Let me go to the water. Let me dance. Like, you're just that continuing to look and search and move, not letting yourself get stuck in that mode of like depression and like you said, feeling that void. Wow, what a great lesson.
Thank you. Yes, I'm still learning. I just, whatever I learn, I share. That's where I'm at now. Yeah.
So I want to be sensitive to time, but I also really want to open it up to the group to see if folks have questions or comments, if they want to, ask you anything.
Okay. Yeah. Ask away, y'all.
Yay. So those of you who are on live with us, you could just unmute yourself and start talking if you feel so called. No pressure. You can also type it in the chat if you have a question or a comment. Nina says, hey, my star baby. Tasha, don't forget to share your readings and juice.
Oh, yeah. So I am going to share my website. It'll be back online tonight. If you guys want to join my group on Facebook, it's called The Honey Coven. And I share a lot more of these things in there. I have many offerings. I do oracle readings. I have playlists that I curate. So like if you need something to help you with self-love, I have a entire playlist that I created while pregnant. I have one if you want to feel sexy. I have one that helps with, like when I was talking about like I call it sensual savor, bridging erotica and food through music. I have a playlist for that. And I have a fourth one. I have one for money vibes. So, if you want to manifest some money, got a little raw ratchet playlist for that too. Everything that I do is to help you embody sensuality practically. So through music, through candles, through oils, touch, all of that. That's what I create. I help set the atmosphere for you to rediscover your unique sensual self. So, yep.
And we have a comment here from Shirlita. She says, and her readings and playlists are always on point. I can attest to that. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. So the website is tashaariel.com. And I'll put that next to the video replay as well for folks.
Okay. Awesome.
This is so good. Wow. Sacred, sensual, mama, indeed.
Yes.
Nina says this was fabulously juicy wet.
Thank you. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed. And feel free to connect with me. When you do join my group, just put in the comments that you're from the summit, and I'll add you in. So,
beautiful.
This is awesome.
Wow, this is so great. Thank you so much for doing this.
No problem.
I feel like this is exactly what was needed for this conversation. Like this perspective is yes, like we can be moms and we can be sensual and we can actually model that to our children in a really positive and embodied way. What a gift that is.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to ask one more time if anyone wants to jump on.
Don't be shy, y'all.
Yourself. I know so much pressure. Oh, and I wanted to ask you about the sensual movement that you do.
Yes. So if you guys want to book a private session with me, it is something that we could do virtual, which pretty much in this setting. I do one-on-one classes. So if you want to I call it my teaser class, where it's just me and you want to just get a feel for the types of movements. And then I have a monthly series that I do. So you'll get a package of a class once a week. You'll also get my Sacred Sensual Movement ebook, and then you'll get one of my herbal blended teas. And so if you do the teaser class, you get a little bit off of the monthly series package. So everyone that's on this call right now, and I will share my mailing list in a few, but you guys will get a 20% off discount if you want to do the monthly series package. So if you want to do a class a week with me and really embody that, really get back to your body in a sensual way, perfect time.
Wow, what a
Yep.
gift. What a gift.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And you mentioned your list. Is that something that we find on your website, or what's
Yes. So my website will be back online. Just give me like a half an hour. And once you go to the website, a thing is going to pop up and ask you to join the mailing list. So when you join, I'll get the notifications, and I'll give you guys a special coupon code so that if you're interested in doing the monthly series package, if you want a reading, anything that I have on my site, 20% off. So yeah.
that is an awesome deal. I'm sure people are gonna jump on it. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Oh wow. So much yummy juiciness.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. This is
It's fun.
such a pleasure for me.
Yes.
So awesome to see you. All right. So we're going to sign off. Tomorrow's another full day.
Yay.
We have a very packed schedule for tomorrow and Sunday. So I hope you can join us live. And if not, check out the replays. Have a wonderful night.
Bye, y'all.